I always think the most important thing is to make sure that the police is called out, because how many times have we actually gotten a case in, there's no police report, and that makes our lives miserable because now it turns into a he said, she said. And you know, those cases unfortunately don't turn out as well as when there is in fact documented documentation as to what happened in the auto accident. So
I think it's also important to take photos of the scene if you're coherent enough,
yeah,
especially in today's day and age where we have camera phones. Those photos of the scene, photos of property damage to the other
Right.
vehicles is so
right.
important.
And that, yeah, don't just focus on your property damage, focus also on the other car's property damage, because how often have we had cases also where our client's car is barely damaged, but then we look at the other car and it's totaled. So,
Especially on rear end accidents, where the rear
Especially,
vehicle
yeah.
is totaled and the front vehicle
That's
has maybe
exactly
a
right.
scratch.
Or our client may be driving a truck for all we know, and then the other one is driving a Toyota or a small car.
And I think it's also being honest at the scene with law enforcement. If you're feeling some pain, even if you don't want to be taken by EMS for whatever reason, make sure you let them know that you are hurt.
Yes.
And you are feeling pain, because it's on the police reports and it's so important. So many times there's no injuries at the scene. An hour later they're at the emergency room, or 2 days later. So
That's exactly right.
It's important to remember the adrenaline that's associated with these things. So you're so wound up you don't realize you're injured, and it could be 24, 48 hours later, which brings up this new law about making sure you seek medical care within 14
Within
days.
the 14 days to make sure you're not waiving any of your rights or benefits. Something else, I said call the police. Well, it's not enough just to simply call the police, but speak to them. Because how often do you see the police speaking to one of the individuals involved in the accident, and all of a sudden, that's the only side that police officer gets? Well, guess what? That person's going to paint whatever happened in the best light for that person. So if you just are completely away from the police officer and don't share with that police officer your side of the story, you may not be getting a fair shake. So,
well,
very
and also
important.
a lot of times there's witnesses on the scene, and our clients will tell us, oh, there was a witness and he said he saw them run the red light, and now it's a he said, she said. Nobody got the witness name,
That's
phone
right.
number, any information, so we can't find this person, and it makes it a tough.
Yes,
tough
and
case.
get the names of the witnesses. That's one of the reasons why you're calling the police, is for them to do it. But you don't know if they've gotten everybody's information or if they documented it properly. So take it upon yourself to what? Well, I think that person saw it, so and so and so on. So get the information, telephone numbers, names, very important.
Fundamentally, I think it's also important to remember, even if it's not your fault, you've got to call your insurance company, whether it's just your agent, just to somehow
That's
put them
exactly
on
right.
notice of the crash. They will investigate it for you. Many times people call us wondering, oh, can you represent me in a car crash? That was their fault. It's the insurance company's responsibility. It's at that point that you need to contact them and make sure.
Yeah, put in the claim, but make sure that they're not talking, though, to the other sides without proper representation. I mean, do not call the other insurance company, the at-fault insurance company, because they're not going to do you any favors. And on the contrary, they're there to make sure that you don't recover any money. So the slightest thing that you may say innocently enough, and what happens? Well, they're going to use that thing against you. So
And
that's a very good point.
Just because an officer finds you at fault at the accident doesn't mean that there's not a case. That isn't even admissible in court. So it's important to have us investigate the claim.
Yeah.
Allow us to investigate and make a determination if there's something that we can do to help you.
That's right. And call us as lawyers, because we're really going to be the buffer to make sure that your rights are protected.